tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
We are back for week 2 of Dancing with the Stars. I'm finally back, since Suri Serano did a great job of holding down the fort for me last week. I'm Kristyn Burtt, and we're in the brand new AFTERBUZZ studio!
Yay!
This is the very first day AFTERBUZZ is broadcasting, so we're super excited, and we're happy to be here. I'm going to introduce, I missed you so much last week, Jake DuPree.
Hi, I'm Jake DuPree.
Aww.
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back. Across the table from me, Darvina Plante.
Hey guys.
Diva Darv, as I like to call her. Yeah, and Suri Serano, thank you for filling in for me last week.
Of course, we missed you, but
I missed you guys,
it's
too.
never the same without you.
No.
7
Exactly.
seasons, you and I.
Holy cow. It's
Right?
amazing, and we're still here. We're still alive. But this night, we have 25 dances to go through, so we don't have a guest because we really decided as a group that it was too much. We needed to really get through these and discuss them and give you guys our opinions, which I know you guys are like, what do you think? And what we're going to do for people that are listening on the podcast, just so you know, what we're going to do is talk about the dances by group. So like Nick and Sharna started off the first night. We're going to discuss their night 1 and night 2 dances all together. And I think that's the way we can do it and get through it in an hour, because we don't have 4 hours.
No.
And
Marathon.
Darvina, I know you were in the studio, so you can give us the live action and how you saw it. So
Will do.
yeah.
Will do.
So let's kick it off with Nick and Sharna. First night they did the jive. So tell us what it looked like in studio.
So he slipped really early on. You know that bit when he comes off the stage and goes onto the main floor? He slipped. And there was also, I think, something with the music. I heard that he was waiting on a cue for the horn to like get undressed out of his PJs, and that kind of got him a bit behind everything, which is kind of why he was a little bit behind the beat, it felt like. Do you know what I mean?
So he felt off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just throws you off.
He looked a little bit frazzled.
Which can
But-
happen with live music. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with that. But he's a great dancer. He's got great energy. I feel like they're a great couple. It was just a bit unfortunate because you could see that he didn't quite pick it back up after that. Do you know what I mean? So that was a bit of a, but still great, I thought.
Yeah, really cute concept.
Yeah, I was a little bummed that he had all those slips and falls. I was like, I mean, I don't know if it was the shoes or if it was his nerves or both, but I was just like, I wanted him to come out and be like top dog, like right out the gate, and it was just a little uncomfortable. Like I was like a little wincing a lot throughout the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just was like, it just made me uncomfortable because you could see that he was just fumbling, and I'd be the same way if that happened to me. So it'd be like, it was just like too close to home, I guess, for me. I was like, oh, that's how I would act if that happened.
Yeah.
So I
What
don't
about
know.
you, Suri?
That didn't bother me so much. Like, I think the first time through, I didn't even really notice the slips except for when they played it back and whatnot. I love this couple. This is the Bugle Boy number, right? That we're talking about.
Yeah.
And also, side note, I'm like watching it and I'm looking at the costumes and I'm like, why does this feel so familiar? And then it hit me. I danced for Bette Midler and we did Bugle Boy.
That's one of our
And, like,
famous
the
numbers,
dances,
too.
yeah.
I was like, oh, I have worn that outfit. And I've danced to this. That's why it seems so familiar. Anyway, I loved it. And it did not take away for me from his abilities at all. It just, those little things happen.
Yeah,
So
we are in week 2.
what?
Yeah, we are in week 2, and like I noticed a lot, especially with the men. Like they're not necessarily aware that their feet sometimes are attached to their legs, and there's a lot of that. You know, I always call it like the floppy feet syndrome or the dead fish, and we're seeing a lot of that. But you know, everyone had 2 dances.
I just think that was
People
so
survived.
silly that they did that. Like,
Absolutely
it's like you're still like
ridiculous.
to week 2. You have no idea still what you're getting into. Like they need that one dance to get by. Like like that's so silly to do 2 dances. I was just the whole time I was like really frustrated.
I agree with you, but I will also say, like, it gives everybody something to talk about and something inject something new early on.
I mean, I know what the producers were trying to do, but it was just like, I don't know. I just didn't think it was very fair.
Yeah, I think
for some of the people that are struggling,
it's a lot, and it gives a jolt to all the pros to be like, you have to create 2 dances in week 2, and you're still trying to get a feel for your celeb and how they work in rehearsals and everything. And on top of it, it was emotional because it's hometown glory for everyone. So,
no pressure.
No pressure. Don't cry. Don't be sad.
Two dances.
Yeah, don't disappoint your celeb. Celeb, don't disappoint the pro on their night. 777 for 21. I don't think it was a horrible score. He's
So you can go up.
Yeah.
Because guess what? He recovered the next night with his foxtrot.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
That was great.
The one thing about this one, because for Sharna, obviously, living so far from home, you must understand this, Darvina, not having your parents all the time. And then she has her grandmother, and her dad, who can't travel here, and just the distance you feel. So I just felt every moment of that dance.
Yeah, I know Sharna, but I didn't know that about her, and I was sat in the audience and I was just like, oh my God, like, she's such a strong woman, and she never really discusses it. I mean, it's not something that you probably talk about on the reg, but I just really felt like it was great to get to know her a bit more, and that dance was so sweet, for her family. And Nick really supported her, and I think that's exactly what needed to happen. He got out of his head, he was there for Sharna, and nailed it. Like, absolutely nailed it. And it was a really great routine. You could feel the emotion, you could feel that they were both connected. And I was like, that's what I want to see from Nick.
Yeah.
So maybe he needs to not think about himself and think about something else. Do you know what I mean?
And I think that first night that he should have, I think what he lacked was connection with her, and what he said, he was like, it's not about me, it's about us together and portraying a message. And that's what he should have focused on the first night. Granted, nerves, whatever. But this I thought was amazing. I think there's such an awesome partnership, and I'm so happy for her that she gets somebody that can really dance. That's so awesome, because she's had lots of people that she's had to work with, especially last season. That was a really tough season. I mean, amazing for her, but also tough because it's constant work. But this was you can tell they're going to create some magic, and last night I thought was really magic for the two of them.
Yeah, I agree with all of you. For me, it was a real moment, and it was the first routine of the season that I had tears in my eyes. They didn't drip, but they were in. Yep, they were Suri tears. Just because it was just so powerful, and I loved how supportive he was. It moved me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were rewarded with good scores. So.
And you can tell that he was leading her, which I like, and it's so tough for the male celebrities to do that sometimes. So I was happy with that.
Me too. So 888, total of 24, so that gives them 45.
That's
for the
great
2 nights.
week too.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go on to Paula and Louie. And, I've got to say that Paula has been surprising me. The first week was a little rough out, but you can really see, and this is the one thing I really love about Louie, he's very good with ballroom basics. And he's going to give her a nice foundation, a nice technique. He's not going to complicate it too much, and that's exactly what we saw in the Rumba.
Exactly. I loved it. I love Paula. I think she's hilarious. I think her character's awesome. She wants to be there. She is trying. She's not oh, I'm no good, I'm not gonna try. You see her constantly going for it, even though she's off balance and
what was that reach? That reach was amazing. It went on for hours.
That was a way to go that way.
Yeah. I was hoping that she would hold that leg up in the air, just hold it. That'd be amazing.
I didn't know what was going on because I was half paying attention. I had to go rewind. I'm like, wait a second.
What is that? Is it Tilt Tuesday or something? I don't know.
Oh, bless Louie too.
Hard. She gives it and she commits,
Yeah. What I like about Louie too is that he really makes the celebrity look good, and he gives them stuff that they can do, like you said. And it was awesome seeing Savannah, because that's where I went to college, and it was Paula actually came to all the dance shows that I was in college, came to every single one. So it's I have a special place in my heart for her, and her talking about that city, it just made me miss it a lot, and it's just kind of emotional. Yeah.
Oh.
And I don't know, I just miss it a lot. It's heaven there. I thought this was really, 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 really great. That Rumba, I thought she had nice movement. I mean, it was just the two of them, and I felt that was the best thing, connection between the two of them. And I think they can only go up from here, and I really hope they don't go home next week. I hope her fan base really, really builds.
I think it's strong. I think her fan base is strong. She's got millions on Twitter to follow her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's good.
I agree with you guys. I mean, it's better, and I don't think I'm quite as in love as you are yet. I'm open to it.
The second dance too that got me as well.
I think Louis is fantastic. I can see why she wanted him. Did anybody get awkward feelings when the Tom Bergeron and Louis were kind of going at it at all?
That was weird.
I never get like that, but with them, it was like, wait.
There was a little like brustling of like
It was a little bit,
which we never see out of Tom ever.
No,
So
that's why I was like, wait, that was a little awkward. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, it was a little silent moment. After that, I was like, okay.
There was a few of those.
yeah.
There was a few random.
did you see it? Did you feel it in the studio? Because I know you can't really hear them going
you
at
can
it.
never hear anything
No,
in the
it's
studio
like-
when you're like what?
Watch it again.
So 766 for a total of 19, and then they moved on to the Tango the next night. Similar scores. I mean, she got 666. What did we think of the Tango the next night?
I loved the Tango too. She was like, I only forgot 2 steps. It's just hilarious because she just calls it out straight away.
Louis
which I
said
love.
it first.
Did he?
Yeah,
to
he's
a
like,
stage.
she only forgot 2 seconds. Like,
And that's what started the Tom,
the back
Louis
end.
thing.
Oh, okay,
But-
got you. But yeah, her face in that one,
Yep.
they were so connected. Like watching them in studio, they were in it, really in it, and I love to see that. Like she really went for it. And how old is she? She's getting her leg up on him. She's going for it. She's trusting him 100%. That's more to be said than some of the younger pros and celebrities. Even.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
And I think her legs are really, really beautiful. Some of
Beautiful.
the shapes and lines she makes, I'm
He
like,
put her in a short
what?
skirt and
Yeah.
then with the rumba, and I thought, hey, that's good.
Yeah.
Let's see her legs.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Don't hide them. Don't hide them. Why would you hide
Exactly.
them? It's like
No, if
it's
you
no
have
point.
them.
Got great pins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
She's got
Barbara
great
Walters
pins.
says, they're the last to go.
The
Good
legs
to
are
know.
last to go.
Yeah, and so I do think that they're going to stay a while. I think she's got great support, and I think that we've seen an improvement week 1 to week 2. So 37 is the total for the 2 days. Hayes and Emma, Foxtrot. You're reading my notes.
I was
Go ahead.
thinking about you the whole time, Jake.
I was just reading your foxtrot. Did you think about me?
I was thinking about you the whole dance.
Why?
Because of his arms and everything. I was like, Jake's going nuts right now. I know you're going to talk
It's
about
like
it.
my boyfriend was making fun of me because he was like, I want to film what you do whenever you say it. I say like a dirty word whenever I watch it. Whenever I think something's amazing, I won't say it on here, but I did say a dirty word last week. But whatever. I thought he was incredible. Both dances. This first one specifically, I thought that the costume was kind of random and the bike was kind of random. I was like, we don't need that. But I thought his quality of movement and what she's giving him for choreography is amazing. And I'm so happy for her too, because she is another one that they give her kind of not the best dancers, and I feel like
The characters,
yes, the characters, and but she's amazing at choreographing. However, I'm so happy that she can show what she's capable of in terms of dancing herself, because she's amazing, and I think he's so great, and I'm so happy for him, because he's not really anybody. He's not somebody that everybody knows in terms of like the general public. So I'm so happy that he's doing as well as he is.
I agree with you, and sorry, were you about to go?
No.
And I didn't know what I expected from him, but I didn't expect all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect him to be so into it and be like reaching, and you know what I mean? Like really, I expected maybe how guys would kind of be a little bit timid and shy.
He's a 14-year-old boy who's doing
Yeah.
ballroom.
Right, that's what I
Think
mean.
about that.
Like I was like, that's
I think of my 14-year-old brother. My brother did not have that emotional maturity.
No.
At all.
And I love the relationship between his family and him and his mom.
Oh, with
my
him crying about his
gosh,
mom, I was
it's
like,
really
I
good. They're
can't
very
handle this.
connected.
That
So
was
good.
just adorable when I
Yeah.
saw that.
I'm like, America's literally just like eating this up right now.
Oh, right.
He's
Sugar.
very
It's
in
all
touch with
sugar.
his emotions too
Yeah.
for a teenager. And one thing they didn't really register for me last week. I have to be honest, since I wasn't here. And so for this week, this was a good eye opener for me, which I thought was great. And they don't need the gimmicks.
No.
Carrie Ann and Abba, spot on. Like take away the bike,
Yeah.
just start dancing. You got it.
Yeah,
So.
I
Exactly.
agree with that. Everything you guys said.
Yeah.
877 for 22, and then the next night they did a quick step.
That was really good.
Blown his shoulders and his arms. I like literally can't get over it. I just like scream at the TV because I'm so excited about this. Because I mean, and also they stayed in hold for most of the dance, which I know the judges always like harp on with them, and I'm so happy they did, because this was like it was just dance. Like, it was just ballroom dance. And I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I don't actually think he's getting enough credit for how good he is.
Me too.
Like, his age, his maturity, that dance was a lot. It wasn't an easy dance at all. And he is, you know, the frame. He is the one holding, you know, his girl together, you know, and being that support. And he's doing a great job. I put that I think he's one to watch for this season for
I
sure.
think so.
Yeah.
I think so, and I hope so for Emma too, because she deserves a good partner.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking too, Gina Katz, you know, when she's casting this season, you have to look at the kids, but you also have to look at the parents when you cast someone that's underage, because they have to sit there and be there, you know, be as a guardian and everything else. And she's done an extremely good job. If you think about it, there's been no train wrecks. There hasn't been any of that like crazy wild Hollywood
mom,
kids,
yeah.
stage mom.
You know, kids, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Bindi this season, you look at Hayes this season, but you can go back to Sadie, you can go back to Zendaya, you can. She's done a great
Really
job,
great
and
job.
it made me think about that, because I'm like,
She's excellent at her job.
excellent at her job, and then pulling Alec out of like, hey, I'm a hero over in Europe and saving a train, and now you're on Dancing with the Stars.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Genius casting.
Yeah.
The one thing I thought about there, he's got the floppy feet syndrome a little
Yeah,
bit, so
he does.
he'll get
Converse
it.
aren't helping though, the Converse. Maybe if you put some shoes on, as opposed to
A
the
little bit of
Converse.
weight sometimes.
Yeah. So maybe that's something to.
Did you agree with Julianne's and Carrie Ann's critique about him keeping his butt out? Like, I didn't necessarily see that, and I went back and watched like a little bit of it to see if I could see it, and I
look at his
honestly
butt?
couldn't. Oh yeah, that sounds
I
creepy.
didn't
Sorry,
notice.
but I mean, like, I don't know. I didn't see that. I thought his frame and his, like, he looked straight up and down to me.
I think I saw it a few times, but you know, I think with someone like that, they're trying to give him those things to work on early on,
Which
because
is
they
good.
see the potential.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They know he's going to be
that's why.
around.
Yeah.
878 for a total of 23, so he's at 45 for his 2 days. Next, we go on to Chaka Khan with Keo, talking about their one night Foxtrot. You know, give us some insight. I know you guys talked about it last week, but what was week 2 like with Keo and having Chaka in the studio?
You mean in terms of rehearsals and stuff?
Rehearsals,
like that?
yeah. How did it go?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't like to speculate, because I mean, we all do have different schedules, even though we do live in the same household.
Yeah.
But I think it went quite all right. You know, I think they still did get rehearsals in. However, looking back, did you see when she got eliminated that she said she felt as though she'd done Keo a disservice?
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting, because that maybe means that she didn't kind of go into it you know, with the mindset, and then she realized, because Keo did say to me, she said after week 1, okay, I understand now. Like, I get it. Like, I get what we have to do. But sometimes they don't give you another chance. Do you know what I mean? Especially when you're Chaka Khan and everyone's expecting an explosion. Do you know what I mean? So I felt like that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Really unfortunate, but someone's got to go, and it's hard.
Yeah, and I've got to imagine for Keo, it's got to be frustrating, because it's been several seasons of exiting early. You don't get to show the world who you are. We've seen him dance incredibly, because he gets to appear week after week, but working with a partner is a different story.
Yeah, I mean, I think people just. I did it too. I expected her to be like Patti LaBelle, come out with this personality, like, I'm so gung ho and I'm you know, just ready to be here. And for me, her attitude wasn't. I wasn't a big fan of her attitude. I just felt like she was kind of like, I don't know. To me, it seemed I was just getting like a bad vibe from her a little bit, and I didn't like it.
This week or last week? Or
This
general?
week and last week, yeah.
I don't know if you picked it up from last week's show, but I was really shocked by her performance week 1. Like,
Like
she
in
was
a good way?
nothing. No,
Oh, bad
not
way.
what I expected at all. I felt like all she was doing was walking. Like,
Yeah.
I was taken aback. So I'm not surprised.
No.
I'm of course sad for Keo, because
Yeah.
I think Keo's fantastic, and it's just the way it crumbles. It probably won't happen to him again in future seasons, but yeah.
You know, it is too, but it's when you have musicians, and Andy Grammer suffered from this week. It's the musicality. I go, where is it when you're a musician? I mean, and she's a legendary musician. I'm like, where's
Grammy.
the musicality? The choreography, that can be one thing, but you know, when you're getting off beat, sometimes I'm like, where did it go?
But it seemed choreography-wise like she was forgetting.
Everything.
Yeah.
Do you know
like,
what I
forgetting
mean?
everything.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Can you imagine, like, having to, guide them through? You see a lot of them doing it, but...
Oh, Louis is talking Paula through. I mean, he's basically like,
got
blah, blah,
another
blah, the
language
whole
going on
time.
there.
I mean, yeah, he's good. what you got to do. I mean, if he has to do that,
you can
to
tell
get
some of them, yeah.
I mean,
And some I'm surprised
he's doing a
because Anna's
monologue.
just smiling, and I would think she would have to be barking at Gary, but she's not.
Anna's just like
She just gives him an eye though. She's just like,
I know. You better do this.
But
Love it.
here's the thing, like in rehearsals, like when you have someone that can't learn or remember choreography, like how many times do you have to drill it? Like, do you just have to keep again? And maybe Chaka was that one that you had to go back. And
but
just,
also, sorry to interrupt you, but she, you know, she wanted to have fun. That's what she said to Kia. I want to have fun. So she wasn't like, I want to come here, I want to learn
win.
this, and this. I want to win. Because some of them go in with it like, I'm going to win. Do you know what I mean? With that, like, real, like, determination. And she was like, I want to have fun. And she is an older woman. So I think it's kind of hard. Where do you find that line to, like, because it's like, this is your job. Do you know what I mean? You're the one that you're getting paid to be on this show. And when the show's done, that's the end of the show for you. Whereas, you know, she's now back to her day job. So it's kind of like, it's a hard one. I think it's...
yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, all fives on that, 15, and that was that. I mean, I thought she'd make it at least to mid-season, honestly.
I did too.
Really?
I
I
really
just thought
did.
with their fan
I
base
didn't.
and stuff. Okay.
Like initially, I thought that
Yeah.
when I first heard her name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you on
Yeah.
that. Not after I saw last week.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's
Sorry.
true. That is very true. Let's go on to Andy and Alison. They kicked off night one with a jive. And this one, I thought Alison actually slipped. Did anyone see that? Did she slip and they didn't call it out?
I think he missed a turn or something, like, or she went for a turn and like slipped. I saw her
forgot.
slip.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, I thought I
he
saw a slip.
forgot.
And then I was like, is the floor really slippery? Does everyone have new shoes?
This is the yellow number.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry,
yeah,
just
yeah.
trying to picture it.
The little top.
little bodega. Yeah.
But they had a great energy. But again, the musicality on this one was gone. They kept up the energy though to at least go to perform the heck out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those people that needs to have the professional like in hold so that he can feel like connected and like, I got this with you. Because whenever he was by himself, like he kept like checking in with her instead of just like relying and having fun. And I think he lost a lot of the fun in this number, which he is. And you can tell that all the celebrities like love him in the cast. Like they all think he's great. But I just I'm like, show your personality because he's got such a fun personality. I'm like, show that.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of Alison for throwing stuff at him. Like throwing really hard choreography because that was fast.
She always does.
That was
She's
fast.
like, here's
I was
it.
like,
Here it
Hold
is.
on. Buckle up, campers.
Buckle up is right.
Yeah.
We're going.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
I definitely think he was a few gears behind her on that one because I think the music finished and they still hadn't got to their ending position.
Yeah.
So I was a bit like, oh. But, you know, they got through it. They persevered and that's all you got to do. And then they came out on, you know, we'll go on to the next dance. But, you know, I feel like they did redeem themselves on the second one. But yeah, I was surprised. I just was like, you're like, Carrie, you are a musician. You know, I was like,
Yeah, where is that?
where is that musicality? But it's a whole like different maybe side of the brain in terms of like standing up there and knowing you're sitting in the pocket singing versus dancing.
Well, I mean, if he was known to be like a Justin Timberlake person, sure, I'd be like,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
fair
But he's
enough.
known to like play a guitar and
Right.
like
Yeah.
sing. So it's like,
And you have to
really?
tell your
Move
body
around.
to move
Yeah,
to the music instead
exactly.
of just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like this couple, and I'm looking for that moment where he really shines. You know, I'm waiting for, it's like, I think we all are.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, right there, I know you can do it.
Absolutely.
Still a little raw. Again,
Yeah.
week 2, so...
Exactly.
But
And 2 dances.
I know. And 2 dances. They got 777 for a total of 21. The next night, contemporary, and I'm like, when you do contemporary, you want to
You
have
want
Alison by
Alison.
your
Yes,
side.
Yes,
So,
you do.
You know, you're winning right there.
Exactly.
You really are. I loved it. I really, really did. Then they went back on the lift because it was a bit, you know, Bruno was like, oh, the lift. And I did think it was a little bit unstable, but I didn't mind it because it's contemporary. It was raw. They were in it. I was like, yes. From the last dance to this dance, I was like, that is a really big difference. That's like a jump from last week to the next week. To
Exactly.
Me. So I was really impressed with them
Yeah.
on that contemporary piece. And just amazing, I thought.
I loved it, and I didn't feel like it never made me nervous in terms of being unstable. And Alison said that she didn't feel unstable at all in her lift, so
No.
I don't know what that was about, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, and we went on back and forth and had to have the playback, and then Bruno's like, see, I was right. But I was like, but were you really right? Because I didn't necessarily notice it until the playback, per se. And I
Yeah.
was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, yeah, the backward momentum, because just it happens. We all
he was
had it.
Yeah,
going,
she
he did
just
the lift
shifted
and
a
then
little
was
bit.
going backwards.
Yeah.
So as soon as that momentum and then moving backwards, it kind of just
He just didn't have a stable base.
I mean, it's just so impressive that
Nitpicking.
he can nail these lifts as well
too.
as he
Like,
did.
yeah.
I mean, that's
Yes.
so impressive. Like, that's so hard to do. So I was really impressed with him. And I was like, the fact that he, again, was listening to the music and he, like, kind of, like, shoved it in Carrie Ann's face. Carrie Ann last night and the
He's
night before
cranky.
was a little cranky. And I was like, what's going on? And I want to bring this up to y'all because what do you think about the lift rule thing?
Right. That we
Where
talk
you're gonna
about
go
every
from where you're gonna go
season.
from this
Every
dance where
season.
he was like Alison was barely on the floor.
But that's
She was lifting him.
contemporary.
Yes. However, those lifts are crazy. But then you look at Derek and Bindi, and her feet are literally 2 inches off the floor. I'm like, what? I don't get it. I don't understand it, and I think it's complete BS. Sorry, Carrie Ann.
My issue with her is that she's inconsistent. She'll
Yeah,
call Derek
right.
out or she'll call Mark out, but then she doesn't call any of the other pros out. And like, if you want to be the lift police,
Be it for
totally
everyone.
fine,
Be
but
it.
it has to be for everyone across the board.
I think that's what we've always kind of agreed on
Yeah.
every season is that have it
just
be
think
consistent. I don't mind with contemporary because that's I expect that. I expect lifts everywhere.
Yeah.
in that for the most part if they're able. But yes, I agree with you.
But I feel like you can't allow like a celebrity male to be lifting a girl he's not a professional dancer and he's like lifting her and doing all these crazy turns above his head with her and then look at a professional lifting a girl off the floor and then being like it doesn't have the same weight to me. Like I just feel like it's a little silly. I feel like that rule should be gone.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But
Lifts are fun.
yeah.
I
And
actually tossed her. Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally.
Exactly.
887, total of 23, so they had a nice improvement over the first night to a total of 44.
They deserve that.
I think that's great. And before we move on, we just, I know everyone has taken in our new studios.
Yeah.
We've got 4 new studios, which is
do.
really more exciting. I would love it. Like each week we have like a
We have a
different
different
one.
one.
Yeah, just keep switching it
Change
up.
it
You never
up.
know. But we continue to offer these shows to you complimentary, and it's because of great sponsors like ABC.
Yes.
So if you would like to, you can tune into ABC on Sunday, September 27th, this Sunday at 10/9 Central, and watch the show Quantico. It's all about FBI agents, and they're training their top recruits, and only 1,200 get in out of all these recruits. And they are the smartest, strongest, and have the best skills. Now they must live and train together under one roof. However, one of their top recruits might be a terrorist. How about that? And they have to go after her. And her name is Priyanka Chopra. She stars in one of television's top new shows of the fall. Tune in to ABC Quantico this Sunday at 10/9 Central.
Yes, I can't wait to check that out.
Yeah, I'm
It sounds
excited
like
about
a really
it.
cool concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And on ABC, which we love for Dancing with the Stars.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we go
Cool.
back to Kim and Tony and the Quickstep, and Kim was another one that needed some major improvement from week 1 to week 2, and she had a rough week. She had a rough outing on Dancing with the Stars.
Really rough.
She had a rough outing at the airport, if you saw Twitter and TMZ and everything else. And I think this was probably a good wake-up call for her, because I know y'all are very vocal and you tell us things. I know some of you were telling Kim things too. Shape up, woman. And I think that the two of them got it together, and they did.
Yeah, I was so happy about this because Kim is like known for being such a fun, outgoing personality and like no holds barred crazy. So it's like, show that. And I think that last week she needed to just like get out the nerves, get out the insecurity, and then this week she came back and she looked like she had so much fun with him. And I was like, that's what America wants to see. And they love a good comeback story. So it's like, if you're gonna start the week off with all those 4s and then come back and then have a 7, that's amazing. And you could tell she loved this dance, which was so cool.
She did. She was very vocal about it.
Yeah.
And I know that Tony used those scores last week for motivation this week. I'm sure he kind of, guided her along. And it sounds like they had more time together as well, in terms of being able to connect and whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, hats off again to Tony for doing what he did and to Kim for pulling this off, because night and day.
Yeah, I said much improved. That was I was a bit like, oh God, what are we going to see this week?
I
know.
And, it was a good pace. She kept up. She was giving sass, It was night and day from week 1.
For
So I was
sure.
like, yes,
For sure.
go girl.
I thought she was
that's what
good in
I wanted to
holds.
see, yeah.
Good
Yeah.
hold. I thought the choreography was very clean. It had content, but it wasn't too complex where she would get in her head and start thinking, wait, what step is
Yeah.
next?
Is this when Julianne said the comment, is it after this dance about Tony, you need to push her? It
That
was it this one
the
or the
second
other one?
The second one,
is.
the Foxtrot.
We'll get there, but
Yeah. Well, let's go there now because
Yeah.
766 was a score for a total of 19. Then we go to the Foxtrot in night 2. So we'll start with you,
I just wanted to say, I know. Look, it was so much better. New Kim, like I agree with the judges. I'm sure you guys probably feel the same way. But I noted when Julianne said Tony, you know, and I know she wasn't critiquing Tony about pushing her because you can see that she can be pushed. I'm sorry. I know I mean, I don't know, but I got to guess, knowing Tony a little bit, he's pushing her. He's doing everything he can. So I was just kind of like, well, yeah, duh, he's pushing her. How much more can he push her? You know what I mean?
It does get the most challenging contestants.
Yes, of course he's going to push them. He's so good at knowing what they're capable of and what they're not. He's one of the best teachers out there. Just that, I had to say that. Not, you know what?
I'm going to be super honest because I've said, you know, Tony has sometimes had contestants that he just kind of has to push around the dance floor.
Yeah.
And just walk, basically, kind of making it look like a dancing step. And I was worried that Kim was going to be one of those contestants where he just is like, okay, I'm just going to lead you and we're just going to get this done and be done with it. But I felt like she's now at least understanding some choreography and they're working together as a team. So
not a deer in headlights.
thank goodness.
Yeah. I think maybe that's what Julianne meant because he is used to having those partners. Maybe it was like, it maybe didn't come across the way she meant it, but I think it was encouragement. I think it was like, push her because you could do this with this girl. Like, which I was like, yeah, I kind of get what she's saying because, you know, maybe giving him that extra boost of confidence, even though it probably didn't seem like
I agree. I didn't take it as like she was being negative. It was just like, no, he is pushing her.
Yeah.
If you think she's not pushing, he's not
being
pushing
pushed
her.
to her
I mean,
limits.
look at the difference from week 1 to week 2, obviously.
Yeah.
She's
I mean,
being
I think
pushed,
that the cool thing about this show for her is going to be just like gaining like that true self-confidence and not just like projecting that like as an Instagram post or, you know, on a reality show, like truly being confident, which is amazing. Do I think she's going to win the show? No. Do I think that she's going to go far? Yeah, because I think she's going to continue to grow. And she's kind of like a lot of the moms that watch this show, like that are balancing a million things and pushing themselves to do new things. I think that's awesome.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at Leah Remini, for a long time we were like, she's going to leave, she's going to leave, she's going to leave. But she had a very huge audience that was related to her. Like, you're a mom, I get this. Like, sometimes you have a baby, you don't feel good about your body anymore, and now you're doing something for yourself, and isn't it incredible? So I think that she could have that same...
It's an empowering journey.
Okay, like one of my favorite couples, surprise couple, but Alec and Lindsay. I just look at the two of them and I was like, genetic jackpot, both of you. Which has nothing to do with the dancing because at the end of the day, it's how do you move her across the dance floor. And Alec is really just nailing it and handling a very new situation very well. Obviously, I guess if you save a train, you can do anything.
Pretty much.
I would hope so.
Terrorism! I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that probably the fact that he is so new to all of this is actually helping him in a way because he's a little bit oblivious. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all a bit like, oh, okay, stand here, cool. Like, I'm walking into this crazy, huge ballroom. Okay, cool. Do you know what I mean? And he's just doing what he's told. And I think, you know, that work ethic is, you know, obviously a great thing, you know, and Lindsay is just a great dancer, obviously, and she's pushing him and they're working really well together. And that jazz, I thought, was exquisite. Like, those lifts, it was non-stop. This is week 2.
One-arm press, I was like, that was hard. That one-arm press, that's crazy.
Yeah, literally. And I said to them before, because I did an interview with Lindsay and I was speaking to them and he was like, if I don't drop her before the lift. And I was like, no, you're going to be fine. Like, he was a little bit worried. But when he goes out there, it's like he just changes. Do you know what I mean? It's like game face goes on and he pulls it out.
It's amazing.
I love it. I agree with you, Kristyn. A surprise couple for me of the season. And all I kept thinking of when I was watching them was... To me, it was like almost like two kids from Utah, like fell, you know, in love and like, like almost like a little Footloose kind of vibe to it. And
Dancing on the porch.
I was in it. In it.
Me
was
too.
Fantastic.
It was beautifully choreographed and the set was gorgeous. It just was like that perfect setting. And Lindsay just... She is so confident, and you just see that she's confident in her skin. She's in a good time of her life. She just got married, all of that. So it's nice to see from, I think it was season 16 that she was a pro to now just to see that growth. So
I think that time off as just a troop member like really served her well because she was like, you know, worked on herself and then got stronger in like what she does. So it's like, it was amazing.
Just nailed it.
So good.
8-7-8 for a total of 23. And then the next night they go into Quickstep.
I like this one a lot. It was fast, you know. I thought they did a really, really good job. You know, she's not making it easy for him.
No.
You know, this guy's never danced in his life, you know, like he's not a singer. He's not used to any of this
He's
stuff
not a performer.
whatsoever.
Like, yeah.
So I was really, really impressed with them. I love it. I love them two together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was screaming at the TV. It was awesome. Awesome. I loved the song. I loved everything about it. Everything about it.
All came together really nicely.
Yeah, he did look relieved that it was over. I will admit to that, but he still nailed it. And I think watching, and I don't know whether it was night 1 or night 2 package, but just watching that, how she's like, no, we got to do it again. You got to focus. You got to. And the one thing about Lindsay, and we had her. You were there that week, and So You Think You Can Dance.
Yes.
Her mom came on. Mindy
Mindy.
Arnold, who owns Vibe Studio in Utah. She came on, and Lindsay came on, and they were both very well spoken, but they're very strong in their opinions, and they stick by them. And I feel like that's helped her as a dancer. I think it's helped Mindy as a studio owner, and it's just really interesting to see that, because you look at Lindsay and you're like, she's so sweet and pretty, and you just think she's quiet. No, she's got an
opinion,
strength.
and she'll tell you what she thinks, and she'll, you know, in a polite way. She's just the most polite, lovely girl, but a great role model, like a great person to have on this show, because she's young, but she's got her head on her shoulders, and you know, I think that's what people need to see.
Yep. Yeah, and I just hats off to them. So, so that was 7-7-8 22, total of 45. So they're right in there where they need to be for, you know.
I think that's like perfect for them to like slow burn. Like it's so good.
Yeah, I don't want them to be the couple that's like 9, 9, 9, 10, 10, because it's too early.
It's too
I think.
early.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's too early. Alexa and Mark, we're going to start off with the kitty cat salsa. Meow. I don't know. Yeah, go.
I just have to say, I was coming from a job, turned on the TV, and I turned it on like right as I see the cat and whatever, and I was like, I had no idea who it was. I had none, and I was like, ooh, and I started getting into it. Because I was standing in front of the TV, and I was like, and then of course, then I saw Mark, and then I kind of I'm like, who is that girl? Like, you know,
Right.
just it was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. I love Mark's work. I love it, and she killed it for me.
You know, it was interesting because watching from last week, and I was following along just Twitter, and a lot of people were like, Mark looks so annoyed. I'm kind of glad that they explained it, that he was frustrated, that he felt she was distracted. Like, you were great in studio, you got out there on the dance floor, and you were too focused on your husband.
I like the analogy. What was it? You were playing with one arm, like you were playing ball, but you're already playing with one arm. I was like, typical Mark.
Well, it
But
explains.
good for her for like taking that critique and being like, all right, instead of being like defeated by it, being like, all right, like let's just go.
Yep.
I have to be honest, I didn't like the concept. And I'm a huge fan of Mark's. You can go back and look at it. Like, I am a big fan. However, I thought this concept was just a concept just to be a concept. Like, I was like, I don't know. To me, I was like, I just couldn't get in it the whole time. However, I do think she moved amazing. I liked the freedom that she moved in. To me, this just wasn't my favorite of the night.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I disagree with you. But I thought it was a great concept. Like, I liked the whole, you know, the camera angle, and then when she was just like, brah, and then the leg, there was a few, like, really good moments, I thought, with, like, lines. Like, and also the movement that she was given, like, on her own, like, she was keeping up. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
All right, we just got a 5 minutes to wrap up sign.
What?
I know.
Where did
We
that
started late.
Started late.
I was like,
Sorry,
we started
guys.
late. Yeah. So, all right. So what we're going to need to do is talk quickly about their Rumba, and we're going to have to give highlights on everyone else, unfortunately.
She was in studio, so she can talk about my.
Yeah, we can do
We can
something. 10.
We can do 10
We
minutes.
10 minutes. We will take that. Yeah. All right, but we are going to have to talk briefer on this. Okay, let's talk about this Rumba though, because we've got the Shirley move.
Yeah.
I thought this was sexy. This is what I wanted to see from her, because she doesn't need a concept. She just needs dance, and she killed it. So I loved this.
She did.
I loved it because, I mean, obviously, you know, it was nice to see the package, and I think it was really nice to see a bit more about our pros, you know, so that kind of got me, obviously, seen as that's one of my best mates, you know, so, but the dance, the Rumba, I thought it was classic. I thought it was underscored. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, me too.
I thought it was underscored. And I'm not saying that because it's my best mate, everyone. I'm saying it because I literally think it was underscored.
I think we all agree.
Yeah, I actually think the rumba should have been higher because they got 888 for the salsa and they got 778 for the rumba. I would have actually flipped
Me
that
too.
and been
Me
totally
too.
happy on that.
This was one of my favorite numbers.
Yeah.
Overall.
This was
the 2
classic.
nights.
Yeah.
Like, there was no gimmicks here. There was no nothing. So he gave you the whole concept the first time, and then the second time he stripped it down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I just felt
loved
like the studio was like so focused on what they were doing. It was beautiful.
Yeah, they were.
24 on the first night, 22 on the 22nd, 22 on the next night, total of 46. All right, Victor and Karina. Okay. Okay, let's talk about this
I knew we were
guy.
gonna laugh. I knew we were gonna laugh a lot.
Victor is adorable. He's
He
so
is.
cute.
He is so cute.
Put his heart into this and
he did.
did whatever he could
Yeah.
in this job.
And Karina did whatever she could. And I literally think she did the best with what she had. And it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Come on now. Were you not
It was.
entertained?
Are you
I was
kidding?
entertained.
His hip shaking.
I
You
know.
smile when you see him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and it's so cute. Like, he seems to be just kind of game to do whatever, and I feel like he's not afraid to be emasculated. Like,
Yeah.
her picking him up and like,
Yeah. Aaron
I
always
was like,
wanting to
this
hug
is
him.
cute. Like, I thought it was cute.
I mean, he did leave after their rumba. I mean, I just felt like even in the rumba, like he committed, he did what he could.
Yep.
But it wasn't. I don't think it was ever going to be enough because I don't think he had the strong fan base. People are still like, "Who is Victor?"
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt like he was up against just.
And also, his personality is not somebody. It's not just gonna like grab you and be like, "Ooh, like who is that person?" I want to find out who that is. Like Alec, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And so the first night the scores were 6-5-6 for a total of 17. Second night 7-6-7 for a total of 20.
I'm happy he went on a high note.
He went in. Yeah, exactly. It's got to be a bummer for
gotta
Karina.
go.
She's gone early the season she's been on recently. So.
Yeah, it must be tough, but I think it's just, it is what it is. You get who you get. You just got to do the best with what you're given, and she definitely did that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
she
agree.
should be proud of herself regardless. 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 weeks, whatever.
She looked hot in
nailed
those
it.
costumes.
Yeah, she
too.
did.
Oh,
God.
with that brown. Yeah, I
I think
mean,
she's going back to her sky high heels though. I bet.
There you
We had
go.
a pizza the night before. She wore that.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, that is not
That is
fair.
so unfair.
She had a pizza. I was like, I've still got like blow, and you're wearing this rumba outfit looking amazing.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Yeah. No,
All
that's,
right.
that's
Jeans,
genetics.
jeans.
Yeah.
Tamar and Val doing the cha-cha. I do love that Tamar is like pushing Val's boundaries in
Yes.
terms of like, hey, you know what? You need to soften up. You need to show people who you really are. And I think
Yeah.
that's good.
I love it, and I love them as a couple. She is great. She really is. The first routine, I got what they said about the connection. Like, when she was dancing with the girls, she was giving it sass. I was like, I'm watching a Broadway production.
Yeah.
And then when she got into hold with Val, it was almost like she wasn't really looking at him.
That's what
Do
I
you know
thought
what
too,
I mean?
yeah.
It was a bit like maybe she's still kind of like figuring that out because it's a lot, to suddenly just be like up in someone's
Yeah.
grill
Yeah.
for a number.
It's true.
You're like,
But the next routine, that changed. It was like night and day in terms of that connection. And it
She's
was
got a
great.
nice ease to her. Like she's just like, I got this. I've got
Yeah.
this. Needs to work a little bit on her shoulders, just keep
Yeah,
them down,
keep
like
that neck
simple
long.
thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think she's gonna give Val a run for his money, which I think is good. But I think that she's really got some nice potential.
Yeah.
Agreed.
She needs.
Totally
I feel
in
like she
alignment
also
with
needs
you.
to like figure out like where the cameras are coming at her because sometimes she misses them, and I'm like, oh, that would have been such a good moment
Yeah.
to like connect.
That
Yeah.
moment of
Because
like,
she's not that star power. It's like own it, like
Right.
really, really own it. I love them as a couple.
But
Yep.
great
Me too.
scores both nights: 8-8-8, 24, 8-8-9 for
Yep.
25. So
I'm so
49.
happy she got a 9.
Yeah, they got this. They got this. And then we go to Gary and Anna. Yeah, okay. Foxtrot. One thing I want to say about Gary, he does have a traumatic brain injury. And I think, I was at the Emmys this week and we saw Tracy Morgan. And, you guys saw him stand on stage. Backstage, he came and spoke to the press and he sat down. And you realize how much those 5 minutes out on stage took out of him. It lives with you forever. And so for Gary to be doing this is incredible. Remembering choreography
100%.
and trying to be himself. So I just wanted to give him props for that.
It's like, I don't really necessarily care if he does remember choreography. I think that Anna is so smart for kind of like not, like we said, she's not like yelling at him on the floor, like step right, step left. Like, let him do his cuckoo thing because it works.
It
because
does.
that's what people are going to be talking about the next
Yeah.
day. I mean, they're of course going to be talking about amazing dances, but like
Yeah.
with him, I'm like, if he forgets, I don't really care.
He's pure gold for TV.
Yeah.
He is entertainment gold, and I love Anna and them together. And
great.
are you not smiling the whole time?
I mean, it's
and
genuine. It's genuine. It very much is.
He was
it's
like,
awesome.
I love this place.
Yes, I love it here. Don't you love it?
He was like, I just love this place.
Like after the judges, so whether it's the foxtrot or the paso, could it have been more paso? Heck,
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what?
Is he gonna
Do we
win?
care? No.
No,
Yeah.
they're just gonna ride it for as long as they can, and that's all you can do with a contestant like that. All 6s for an 18, all 5s the second night for 15. You know, when you do, you just never know when he's gonna do something.
Wait,
crazy.
I just have to say though, when Aaron was like, when he commented about the 3 5s that he got, and Aaron like was like, "What am I supposed to do?"
Yeah.
Because he was like, he made the
going
comments
off,
about
yeah.
the judges.
and then he's like,
to shots.
That was one of my
No
favorite
idea.
moments. Is you never see Erin Andrews do that on
She's
sports or
speechless.
entertainment.
Yeah.
she's like, I can't say anymore.
It was great.
Carlos and Whitney, their total score is 33, but for them, it's just having fun. Carlos and Whitney, foxtrot the first night, second night, cha-cha. This is a strong couple.
Very strong couple. I really liked their first dance. I wasn't in love with the cha-cha concept, I think, more. It didn't really remind me, I don't know, because it was like hometown night, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter because he is a great dancer. And what I noticed about the foxtrot, you know, I was worried that with his energy, it was going to be hard to like tame it and, you know, just like keep that finesse. Not at all. Not at all. He brought it down, but still kept the energy and still kept us engaged. So I really like him. I think he's really good.
I'm just gonna say for the second night that I agreed with Carrie Ann that I wasn't overly impressed with him, because he's him. He's him.
Yeah.
He can do better.
Yeah, he can do better.
Yeah.
So
They had a big weekend. Derek and Whitney and Julianne too. They were all at the Emmys on Sunday, so they had a very long day. So I'm sure that it cut a little bit. I know it's camera blocking on Sunday, but yeah, it does cut into some rehearsal time of like, you know, we should go over this one more time.
Yeah.
It happens, but so given everything that had happened that whole weekend, they had Creative Arts Emmys the week before. It was a busy week. They all did awesome. 888-24 for the first night, 777-21. And hey, he has his Latin heels on.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't wear the Latin heels.
Straighten those legs, though.
Yeah. 45 was their total score. And then we go to Bindi and Derek. First night, tango. Second night, waltz. Oh, let's talk about that heavy metal.
I thought that was a really, really amazing moment. I was like, there's never really been that like hard rock moment on this show. And from a 17-year-old, like this is so
Johnson.
cool. I mean, but it's just a different I feel like they're just like, I mean, they're very similar, but they're different.
I think it's more the personality of Bindi.
Yeah.
You know, it's just people are just like in awe. But I'm not gonna lie, I thought the 9 was a bit OTT.
Okay.
For that
an
first
8?
number.
Would you have been okay with an 8?
Yeah, all 8s I would have been totally fine with that. But I get like, I love her energy and I think she's awesome.
Fearless.
Yeah, but maybe like in a couple of weeks, the 9. I just didn't think it was technically there for the 9.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna put like Tamar on a 9, do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's where I was at with that.
I don't know about the 9. I just know that I love this couple. I love Bindi. I'm in love with her, and she does remind me of Shawn Johnson in a different way. But she does. I look like when I glimpse at her, and I'm like, oh my god, that could be like Shawn's sister, you know, a little bit, which is a compliment. And her energy's off the charts. But I just think I'm impressed with her. I'm so impressed, not just with her energy, but like what she's bringing
maturity.
to the table.
Yep.
Hello.
Yeah.
Like even just that. Like I was like, I wish I had that. I don't know if I'm in touch with it at my age now. You know,
That
it's just
innate confidence that just shines through. Like there's no shame at all.
You're seeing other
Like, it's
sides
amazing.
of her.
Yeah.
That's the
Are you not?
second
I
dance
see
that
it.
she did. I felt as though she showed such maturity with that emotion. I was watching the two of them and I was like, are you kidding me? Like I was so in it. And that's when I was like, did she get a 9 for that one?
No,
no,
for the
she
Rumba,
didn't.
she's
7, 8, 8. Yeah.
See, that's why I'm
the
a bit
waltz,
like,
that was
Because it was the lift.
It was
That
the waltz.
Oh.
It was the waltz, yeah.
That's right.
lift police. I
The
forgot.
lift police, but yeah, you know, she's got little shoulder frame things she can work on, but she's on her way to be in those finals.
Yep.
All right, so total of 48 for the 2 nights. It was 988 first night, 788 on the second night. Quick, right before we go, who do you think's gonna leave next week? Right off the bat,
no,
Suri.
God, don't go to me.
Yes.
I have to go through my notes. Jeez.
Darvina.
I don't want to. I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, look,
Jake.
Yeah.
Anyone? Is
Oh my
anyone
gosh.
gonna?
Ready for this?
I don't know.
I honestly didn't think about it, to be fair.
Well, I don't want it to be Paula. I don't want it to be her.
I don't
I
think
think
it's
it might be Paula. Either that or possibly Kim.
I think Kim goes before
I don't
Paula.
want it to be either of
that would
them.
probably be two.
No,
But who else is
But
it?
I think
I
Kim
think
goes
Paula
before
before
Paula.
Kim.
Okay,
Who do you
we'll
think?
see what happens. I think Kim before
Kim?
Paula.
And I
So
think,
you think Kim next week?
Kim next week.
and I think Paula before Kim.
We'll see what happens. All right, you guys, we got to wrap up. Sorry it was so fast. There are 18 million dances to talk about. We'll be back next week, but we move to Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks for joining us in our brand new studios. Suri, where can everyone find you?
At Suri Serano on everything.
Ooh, Darvina.
At Diva Darv on everything.
At Jake DuPree on Instagram and at Jake_DuPree on Twitter.
Oh, I'm all over the place. It's like the Kristyn Burtt on Instagram and Kristyn Burtt on Twitter and Periscope and find me. You'll find
Figure it
me.
out.
We'll see you all next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.